Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Waiver Wire live stream. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. That, of course, is D-Bro, Derek Brown, the king of bros, the fantasy bro. And happy early Thanksgiving to all of you out there watching live, hanging out with us today. We've got NFL news and notes. We've got Waiver Wire to talk about. We're going to roll up our sleeves like Derek Brown. We're going to get into some football, help you out with some of the guys to pick up this week, also help you out with your questions. So again, you've got questions, we've got answers, drop them below in the chat. That's what I want you to do. And for those of you joining us today, we're finally going to the answers of the child star past of one Joe Pisapia. It's a haunting tale. I can tell you that, much like Drew Barrymore and, I guess the Asian kid from Goonies. Like, there's a crazy stuff there, crazy times in the 80s. But yes, we're going to find out exactly what that was. We've teased a few things before what that might be, Derek Brown. Haven't gotten it right yet, but a couple people did take the bait pretty hard.
I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm scared, but I'm kind of excited. I don't know really how to feel. It's a difficult time for me, Joe. It's a difficult time.
Well, we're going to help you through those difficult times, but it's a holiday, so I figured I'd give everybody a laugh. There'd be a good time for everybody. Also, another thing that's always a good time is the sleeper waiver wire pickup of the week, and his name is Zach Charbonnet. It goes very well with your turkey this Thanksgiving, too. An ice Charbonnet, perhaps from the Napa Valley region, would be a lovely compliment. Hints of oak, perhaps, some white grape. You've also got 15 rush yards, 14. I can't even speak today. I cannot speak today. 15 rush attempts, 47 rush yards, 6 receptions. I'm having problems. It's the time where Joey P starts to break down. That's what this is. But Zach Charbonnet is headed for a big workload against the 49ers on Thursday night football here on Thanksgiving. So let's talk about Charbonnet. You can make all the faces you want. I know I studied a little bit over
what
something.
champagne are you drinking that has oak in it, sir? Like,
no, it's oaky notes. It's not champagne. No, a lot of wine has oaky notes to it. Oak, cherry.
I've got to go do some Googling because I feel like you've made a cross reference. Like there's bourbon and champagne. And
the thing is, I'm not a white wine drinker. I can know all the red notes, but the white ones I really don't know because I've never really done a lot of white tasting. Because I am bougie, I am snobby.
I mean, we know this. All the viewers already know that. You don't have to state.
Speaking of being a snob, let's be fantasy snobs here and talk about Charbonnet. He was the man about town on Monday's waiver wire program yesterday with Pat and myself. If you missed that, go back and watch it. It's fantastic. Charbonnet has an opportunity here for the full workload. Theoretically, a tough matchup against the 49ers. You imagine they're playing from behind. I also think the tough part here is the health of Geno Smith. They say he's going to play, but I'm concerned that he doesn't make it through the first half of this game, not just because of the injury, but because of that pass rush. You saw Geno Smith getting lit up in that game against the Rams on Sunday. If that's the case, I can't imagine when Nick Bosa and Chase Young come to town what it looks like. Now, Hufanga is going to be out there for that defense. He's out for the year now. Let's talk a little bit about Charbonnet's value here and how aggressive people should be with that.
I mean, look, he's going to get the workload as a top 15 back this week. And I'll push back on the 49ers being a tough run defense. I mean, you add Chase Young to the mix. Obviously, that's going to help the pass rush, but this run defense has not been elite this year. They just haven't. You look at various parts of like efficiency metrics, tackle breaking metrics, the 49ers are bottom 10 in basically everything over the last few weeks. So Charbonnet is going to get the work. We saw him get 85% snap share last week. He's going to have 20 to 25 touches possibly. I think that upside is real with Walker out and nobody else is taking work away from him. So I think Charbonnet, like I said, locked in top 15 back. And if they're trying to keep Geno Smith, which I think Geno plays in this, at least the last reports I saw was that it was a bruise, which everybody out there, the really fancy term for a bruise is a contusion. So no, you can't aggravate the bruise unless you get hit on the bruise. So I think Geno is going to play. Now, going against that pass rush, it's real, but sticking the ball in Charbonnet's belly and letting him run is how you're going to mitigate that.
All right, fair enough. By the way, it was the time of thankfulness, and I'm thankful for John because he has let me know that the American oak imparts rounded notes of vanilla and coconut, whereas the French oak brings hazelnut and a smokiness in certain white wines, particularly in Chardonnay. The American oak can come across as a popcorn or toffee sort of
John,
note.
just saving your bacon.
Sometimes there's a little bit of nuttiness in there too. We all know where that comes from.
from.
Also, we've got a fun opportunity for everybody with this holiday week on Betting Pros. We just did the holiday special, so go check that out. It should be dropping later tonight or tomorrow morning. Eric's and I going through all of the Thanksgiving games and the I keep saying it. I keep saying Good Friday.
Good Friday?
It's a Black Friday game. I did it, and John's laughing because I did it. And I had to restart the podcast. I don't know why. More like Great Friday.
Off
football.
the rails, baby.
Yes, but I want everybody to know we do have a fun schedule going on too. So obviously yesterday was the Waiver Wire podcast. Today we got the live stream at 3:00. They just did the trade podcast, last one with the trade deadline coming up. So if you have an opportunity to make deals, go listen to that. Great guest Joe Arrico joined us on there. Tomorrow, Erickson, I'll be back again. Usually we're on Thursday, but because of the holiday, we're back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern with another Start Sit live stream. And of course, we've got the matchup preview podcast, which is usually Friday, moving up to Wednesday. And of course, Sunday will be here for you, as we always are every single Sunday, answering your questions. So just because the holiday's around doesn't mean we're not. So we're going to help you through all of this time. Look, last spot to make trades, last spot for you to make that last playoff push. Lots going on here. Let's get to some of the questions here. Let's start with Mitchell Sharp. D-Bro Pollard did his thing. Thanks. Now, what do we do with him? Also, do I hold Ty Chandler? He went off last week. Thanks again, pros. So what do you want to do here? You're just going to hope that Pollard better days are ahead?
I mean, that's all you can do. Nobody's still giving you anything in a trade for him. So you ride it out. And I put a tweet out earlier today. Over the last 3 weeks, Joey, he's back from the grave. He's top 10 in both missed tackles forced and explosive run rate. So I know it's been a disappointing ride. I know it's been tough times, but I think better days are ahead for Tony Pollard.
Fly Eagle 20. Hey, y'all, could really use some advice on this trade. It was offered A.J. Brown and Christian Watson for Ja'Marr Chase. Dalton Kincaid and Jacoby Myers is a 12-team full PPR. Kincaid's been very good, so depending on what your replacement tight end is, I mean, I would rather have A.J. Brown rest of the season over Ja'Marr Chase. One has Jalen Hurts, the other does not.
Yeah,
so,
I totally agree. And shout out to Fly Eagle 20 with the y'all included there, because everybody toss the y'alls in all of your questions and comments just so I can hear Joe have to say them on the show.
WHT fam 2003. Hey guys, love everything y'all do. Oh, stop.
Yes! Oh, this made my day. Thank you. The gift. I'm so thankful for this, Joe.
John said I have to come back on the show. I need to know if Josh Downs or Demario Douglas is worth replacing with Jayden Reed. Also, is Zay Flowers droppable? I don't want to drop Zay Flowers, but Jayden Reed, one of my favorite picks to score this week, working out of the slot potentially too. That's a good matchup for him. Look, dude, I don't want to drop Demario Douglas. I'd like to keep all of these guys, but who's the odd man? Downs, Demario, Jayden Reed. Who do you get rid of if you have to make roster space here and trying to acquire one of them? It's really tricky, but the way Jayden Reed's starting to rush the football now a little bit too, that's incredibly valuable. I almost feel like Downs is the odd man out, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
I'm still rolling with Downs. I mean, we've seen, you're hoping that Jayden Reed becomes Josh Downs. And I think this is really interesting, because if you need a start this week, then I do lean Jayden Reed over Josh Downs. But if you're looking at the long term, I still go Downs. It really all comes down to, what does his knee look like? Is he healthy? Is he not? We've seen him struggling through the knee injury. So what do you need for this week? If you have to start somebody, it's Jayden Reed. If not, I'm holding Downs.
El Tomo Loco. Yo, bros, Chase trade question. I could feel. Ja'Marr Chase will be the most traded player this week. It's coming. Realistic trade target PPR. So who would you want back for him? What are some pieces here? Let's say wide receiver straight up. Let's say, would you rather have Adams rest of season?
I would take Adams.
Would you rather have DJ Moore rest of season? I'm just going to run through names for the people.
Yeah.
What about Jalen Waddle?
Yes.
What about Cooper Kupp?
I'll take Chase.
Really? Okay. Ira Williams, roll Pitts rest of season or grab Likely? PPR.
Grab Likely. What have we seen out of Pitts to really believe in that?
Yeah. One thing I always believe in, of course, is Uber Eats. So you can get your food from your favorite restaurants, plus groceries and other essentials delivered straight to your front door with Uber Eats this football season. Stay planted on your couch and get anything, well, almost anything you need for game day by ordering on the Uber Eats app. Uber Eats, the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Heyo. Product availability may vary by region. See the app for details today. Now, speaking of almost anything, we said that we would give the people some more choices. We're going to put a poll up here about which of these two things, and one of them is actually true this time, of Joey P's checkered past as a child star, as a child actor, the many pitfalls, the incredible amount of cocaine and other abuses that celebrity life brought to me as a child in the mid 1980s. It's a common story that
are we getting like a VH1 behind
it feels very much
the
like
fall with the star? Are we getting that?
Very
Is
true
VH1
Hollywood
still
story.
a thing? Is
I don't
VH1
know,
still around?
but I think it's still. I don't know. That's a good question. Is it still a thing?
Yeah,
Either way, maybe I can get one of those true Hollywood stories. Those were good too. But like Robert Downey, I kind of came back from the ether, and now I have this wonderful job here working for Fantasy Pros. So, was Joe Pisapia appearing in a Toys R Us commercial? More games, more toys. Oh boy. Was Joey P a Toys R Us kid? Or was it option number 2? Was Joe Pisapia as a child on the incredible LeVar Burton classic Reading Rainbow? That's right. I Can Do Anything. Take a look. It's in a book. A Reading Rainbow. There you go. Those are your choices. No. Don't influence the people. Let them think on it. I can see your brain is working overtime. The poll's going to be up there. We'll tell you at the end of the show, so you got to stay with us if you want the answer at the end of the show.
I've got my answer.
Oh, that was awful quick. All right, there we go.
My answer.
WV304, Standard League. Would you trade Kyler Murray and George Pickens for Sam Howell and Christian Kirk?
Yes. I think you're not looking at much of a downgrade from the quarterback, if any. But that's a big upgrade. Pittsburgh, even without Matt Canada, they're not going to turn into a high-flying offense. Like, Kenny Pickett does not throw touchdowns, and the passing volume can't support anybody. So, yes, very much on the Howell and Kirk side.
Let's talk about that. Matt Canada was let go today. A lot of changes. All of a sudden, people have really started to realize, hey, it's week 12. Obviously, the Matt Canada era was disappointing. Nobody's happier than our friend Scott Bogman about this, by the way. I can assure you that. I texted him this morning because I found out while he was still sleeping. But here you go. Matt Canada spent 44 games as the Steelers OC. Under him, they had 0 games with 400 plus yards, 1 game with 300 plus yards, 2 games with 30 plus points, 7 games with 2 passing touchdowns, 27 with 20 first downs or less, 28 with 20 points or less. And that was with Ben Roethlisberger at the end of his career too. So
that is a gloriously long ledger of ineptitude.
Yeah,
that's absolute insanity.
It can only get better, is what I'm saying for everybody. If you've got DJ, if you've got the running backs, even if you have Pickett or even Pickens, any of these guys, it can only get better now. I don't think it can get worse.
I'll say this: if things can't, like you said, Joe, things can't get worse in Pittsburgh, and it tells you how bad it is if the Steelers are willing to get rid of a coach in season. Right. That never, ever happens.
Not that kind of organization. You're right. No, you're right. They have 2 coaches every 50 years. They're like, we're good.
Much. We're good. Tomlin's going to be the new Belichick. He's going to coach until he's probably like 85,
and he should. He's a great head coach.
He is.
There's not a lot of great head coaches in the NFL. The coach is not the problem there. The play calling was. And some of the personnel decisions that you work on. Hoodie, we already go. You get Hoodie's question? No. Hoodie Lex, Murray or Fields rest of season? I want Fields. Who do you want?
I want Fields. Easy.
Okay. Should I trade either one for Stevenson or Gibbs or Swift? Yeah. Whoever you can get Gibbs for is who I want. Because you can. I'd rather trade Murray for Gibbs if you can pull that off. Great. Murray for Swift also doable. I'd rather keep
either one.
All right, Dominic Gazzetti, our boy Dom. I like buttery Charbonnet myself. Of course you do, Dom. Drop Spears for Pop Douglas. I think in a PPR you do that.
Yes. Pop is going to be a wide receiver too over the next few weeks. Calling it.
Non-PPR is Freiermuth and Hunt droppable.
Yes.
Okay, I have not Ferguson. He wrote Jurgensen, but I guess he means Ferguson.
Not even touching that
Isn't
comment.
that a lotion? Make
No,
your hands all-
no, we're not going there. No,
All right.
no.
Samdeep Jakar, thoughts on Josh Downs' rest of season? I think he's a low end or mid wide receiver 3-ish guy. Flex appeal.
If he's healthy. Yep.
Yeah.
Wide receiver
The
3.
health is the problem. That's why earlier I'm like, I'm willing to drop him for Reed because I think Reed this week, if I need touchdown equity, he has plus 250 on the board right now for touchdown. That's a great number.
Yes.
On FanDuel right now. That is a great number to hammer. Victor Diorazio or Cruz. Happy week 12, everybody. Should I trade Gus Edwards and Chris Olave for Keenan Allen?
Yes.
I'm good with that.
If you've got the running back depth to handle that, because we also need to throw this out there. Gus Edwards is the 2023 version of Jamal Williams. Look at all he does.
Okay, good. Thank you. Awesome. I love it. I'll take that guy. If that's the guy I have on my rosters who's my RB2, I'm fine with that. With a snap, hey bros, Brandon Cooks, Dallas, or pick up Reed in Green Bay? Need one. I like Reed.
I mean, it's the Commanders.
Get the ball
I'm going
more.
Cooks. All
right. Let's go to the next one here. We've got Slim Tito 02. Y'all just got Diggs. Oh, stop. Y'all, I just got Diggs.
Keep him going.
For Jamar Chase, Achane, Javonte Williams, and Garrett Wilson. Did I win? So you got Diggs, Ekeler, and Fields. Gave up Chase, Achane, Williams. You certainly got.
Oh, I like that.
I would think the pieces that are more reliable. I mean, you gave up some quality upside depth, but you know what? Give me the right side. I think you're on the right side of this deal, D.
Yeah, I big time agree with that. And Eckler's playoff schedule is just the stuff of dreams. It's beautiful.
Pablo Santisteban. Trade Monty or Swift PPR.
I'm trading Swift. I understand he had a great game last night. What's to stop Monty from continuing to be a top 15 running back every single week? Okay, well, Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 10, top 5 running back.
I'm playing, look, it might be one of those kind of backfields.
It is. This is the new Saints backfield. This is the Ingram and Kamara show.
Kamara show. Well, it's a hell of a show. And the Lions are in a really good spot here. I think this is an important game here for the Lions, not just because it's the Packers and all this, but like this is years, I feel like, of the Lions being on this Thanksgiving game and being disappointing and being the laughing stock and being walked on. And now, like last year, we're more competitive. Obviously, that was a fun game last year. It came down close. But this is, I think, an important spot where, you've got the Green Bay Packers here, a team that, has just stuck it to you for the last 25 years. Do you think that they handle their business or do they fall into old Detroit Lions habits on Thursday?
I think this is Dan Campbell and the Lions just unleashing the beast, baby. I think they're going to go to town. I think they're going to put up 35 plus in this game.
Does Green Bay keep pace at all?
It all depends on which version of Jordan Love that we get. With no run game, if we get bad Jordan Love, they're going to get absolutely trounced.
Well, bad Jordan Love is what we get most of the time. True. Stink Mangione. Love the show so much. I mean, Stink, love you. Stink Mangione. Now, that's a name.
Stink.
Hey, y'all. Rest of season, I have Mahomes and Purdy going into the playoffs. It's looking better for Purdy. Should he be a start in the playoffs? Also, rest of season, should I keep T. Higgins and Aaron Jones? It depends on what's on the waiver wire with that last one. I mean, if there's pieces that can help you right now and you're fighting for your life, I don't expect much out of either of those guys, which is really depressing. But like, it's week 12. How long, you can't worry about ADP right now. We're way too deep into the season. The Mahomes Purdy one is interesting because Purdy has played very well and he's got certainly a bigger cast of characters to support him. In this scenario where Stink is, would you trade Mahomes and roll with Purdy if you could get like a really high end wide receiver 2, low end wide receiver 1 kind of guy?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. You get rid of Mahomes. I mean, we're all riding the Purdy show, man. I mean, he's why would you get off that train? San Francisco is as healthy as they're going to be, and Purdy is playing absolutely fantastic football right now. So, yeah, I would have no problems. I mean, the other thing about this is Kansas City has been a struggle bus for most of the season, Joe. Like they have no offensive identity. They can't even find a wide receiver that they want to play full-time snaps. If it's not Travis Kelce, it's Patrick Mahomes struggling weekly. So
that's the hard part. And I think what they tried to do isn't working. They tried to take a lot of shots. Maybe Rice continues to develop here down the stretch and saves the day here. But the Sky Moore shot was a miss. The Kadarius Toney shot was a miss. The MVS shot was a miss. The
all the Justin Ross hope and hype.
Justin Ross, thank you. I knew there was another one I was forgetting there. Like, no, everything was a miss. They tried to be cute. And now they're basically putting Mahomes in that position that Tom Brady was at the end of New England, which is, look, how great of a quarterback you are, you have to have some help. Yep. And right now, they are very predictable. It's stop Travis Kelce, just like it was stop Gronk at the end of the Brady era.
It's true.
Stop Gronk to stop the offense. They didn't have anything else.
Also, to point out here, I don't know if we see Aaron Jones for the rest of the regular season. He's droppable.
I don't think we do either. I'd be shocked if we did. Aaron Shine, Lawrence or Howell, Standard League this week. Who would you rather be playing?
Howell. Going Howell. Okay. I know the matchup is insanely difficult.
Yeah.
But he's top 3 in every volume metric. Like, Washington's going to throw the ball. So
this literally coming from my playbook just now. You must have heard, the phones are listening. AI. Green Bay Packers Aaron Jones is dealing with an MCL sprain and considered week to week. He's also unlikely to play Thursday. I think you're going to see a lot of unlikely to play. I'll say this. I'd rather start Lawrence. I understand why Howell. I'm just concerned about how many mistakes he might make against that Dallas defense. Whereas with Lawrence, good bounce back week last week. They've got the full complement of weapons. Zay's back too. Everybody's there playing. I would go with Lawrence. Ando A, half PPR, flex spot, Keaton Mitchell, Mixon, or Chase.
This has got to be Mixon. I'm leaning on the volume here. And look, I am on the Keaton Mitchell bandwagon. My ticket's been punched. I'm there. But I think we're getting a little bit too cute to push him over 15 to 20 touches for Joe Mixon.
All right, maybe we can get an update on the poll, see how things are going here. Again, if you're just joining us, we want you to vote in the poll. Was Joey P as a child in a Toys R Us commercial, or was he made an appearance on the beloved Reading Rainbow? So please get your vote. Also, make sure you drop your comments below, because if you do and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you might win a chance to get this glorious 36-inch fantasy championship trophy for your league, courtesy of our good friends at Trophy Smack, the #1 destination for epic fantasy trophies. Right here, subscribe to the YouTube channel of Fantasy Pros right now. Stop everything you're doing. Do that. Drop a comment below in this video. That's it. That's all you got to do. And we'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel. So make sure you turn those notifications on so you know if you are the big winner. And every time a piece of content drops, that's a good looking trophy. Trophy Smack is very cool. They got a lot of cool, the teeny tiny trophy still. The little teeny tiny loser trophy, that's one of the greatest things we've ever given away.
If you put y'all in the comment, I'm not telling you that's going to help your chances, but it
can't hurt.
Can't hurt it.
Can't hurt.
Joey P is not the one selecting this, okay? So drop all the y'alls.
Drop all the y'alls. Jamison Woodruff just traded Jordan Addison and Jaylen Warren for Derrick Henry in a half PPR. How'd I do?
I think if you're... I mean, I don't hate the trade. I'm not, like, bowled over by it.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't want to do this trade now. Especially
so are you a Jaylen Warren believer, Joey?
Look,
I'm going to hang up and just listen.
You can hang up and listen. It's not that I dislike Jaylen Warren. It's that this notion that he was going to overtake and Najee Harris was going to disappear, and that's not happened. It's not happened.
I don't disagree.
And it took us 10 weeks to get to where we are here, where we're all excited for Jaylen Warren. So let's also not pretend like the first 8 weeks were great, because they weren't.
I mean, they were pretty darn good. He was a top 24 running back almost every week. So not too shabby, Joey.
All right. So the poll results are in. So do you want to announce the what the people think here, or do you want to have a little bit more time for you to think about what the right answer is?
No, I'm with the people on this one.
Okay.
John's dropping it at that 59%, and I'm gonna say this. I'm with the people on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the Toys R Us commercial, and I mean, I don't want to say that maybe Joey's ability to read or not to read is also going, factoring in here, but I do lean with the Toys R Us commercial, just to say it. It's 59%. Right. So
John, you want to chime in before maybe our producer John wants to chime in? Well, I want to know what John thinks it might be. Do you think it's Reading Rainbow, John, or do you think it is the Toys R Us?
John thinks you can read.
John says Reading Rainbow. Why,
right.
John? Do you think it's the Reading Rainbow? Tell me while I tell the people. I'll convey your. See, we got to get John up on the screen. That's
we do.
next year.
We have to get John up here.
He just thinks it's a hunch. He's just going with the hunch. John, your hunch is correct.
No!
I can do anything. Take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow. That's right. Not one, but 2 times was Joey P
2
on the reading rainbow. That's
times?
right.
Wow.
That's right. You know those little
So
book
your
reviews. See,
literacy
you might be a
issues
little
were
too
that bad that you had to
you
go
might
on
be
there
a little
twice.
young for this show, but there were these book reviews you used to do as a kid, and you would go in there and you read the book, and then you go on TV and you talk about that. And I did that, and they were hilarious. And my thick Brooklyn accent at the time, missing perhaps a tooth. At the time, I don't have an accent now. I'm just aggressive now. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
But but there it was. So for those of you who were waiting, is the child star? Yes, it was Reading Rainbow. I did a few other things also, but
do we have clips? Is there are there like VHS clips? Like we need.
They don't exist. That's the beauty of living life in the 80s and being a child. But now I've sent Derek Brown on a rabbit hole. I assure you, I've already looked. No one has looked more than I. So good luck. Good luck. So
all right.
Now there are 2 of them, so maybe you'll find one of them.
I'm just gonna reach out to your parents and find out. Because that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. They won't. They don't have them. I have them anyway.
I'm gonna. Okay, so fine. All right. So apparently, me and the girls, your daughters, are gonna get in on this action. We're gonna have to plot something here.
All right. Okay. Let's go to Mac's question here. But for the holidays, I wanted to give everybody some joy at my expense. So there you go. So I was doing important things on public television, Derek. I was helping children to read.
I mean,
there you go. And do other things good too. Right. Mac, Bijan or Gibbs rest of season?
Gibbs.
Separately, who could I get for Puka?
Swift. I mean, you're looking at like low end RB 1, high end 2 territory. Probably DeAndre Swift, Mondre, Rashad White, Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, somewhere in that territory. If you're going for wide receiver straight up, or if you're looking to upgrade, Mike Evans, DJ Moore. I probably go for DJ Moore.
Mike Evans will be a good one. I'll tell you this. I am rooting very hard for your Saints this weekend. I want, even though I have futures of the Falcons winning that division, my rage for the mishandling of Bijan Robinson this year is so enormous that I can't. I need it. I need some validation there.
Slap the mustache off of somebody.
I do, and look, this is people's jobs and things like that, so I know I don't like to get cavalier with it, but it's just very frustrating to watch on a weekly basis to see what they're not utilizing that talent with, and if you spend the draft capital, why you're not using this player, and somebody can come in there and do a better job. Gabe Mendez.
It's just the arrogance that comes down with the usage. Every single every talking
Speaking
point.
of which, too, that Brandon Staley press conference at the end.
He was talking about a spicy meatball.
Somebody is not having a good Thanksgiving, I can tell you.
He is not.
Brandon, could you pass the cranberry sauce? Don't tell me what to do. I will
pass it all in due time.
Sauce. Ask me again. Don't ask me that.
I'm going to enjoy my buttery Chardonnay with oak in it.
He's definitely enjoying the buttery. He looks like a guy who enjoys a buttery Chardonnay. He definitely does. Gabe Mendez.
Extra oak.
Hints of tobacco. Gabe Mendez. Hey, y'all. I have Dalton Schultz. After losing Andrews, is it worth picking up? Likely. Need defense for week, and Chiefs are available. Look, if you have Schultz, you just play Schultz. I'm not rolling out Likely if you have Schultz. No. Look, Schultz is fine.
If anything, I mean, you could pick up Likely, drop a defense, pick up Likely, and trade him.
I don't know how much value he's got. Nicholas Solomidis. Need help, y'all. My primary RB is Ekeler, but RB2 slot needs work. I have Javonte and James Cook, both of whom have been sells recently. Who is the RB2 range that you would trade for one of these guys? I think
so he has Javonte and James Cook?
Yeah. See,
What's the problem with that?
I'm gonna tell you, I think you're just rolling here rest of season with those guys. Like this, it's gonna be good.
Fine. Yeah.
Daniel's here. Daniel always is here.
James Cook was RB9 last week.
I know.
Baby.
What are we complaining with? Williams had been really good the previous 2 games. It's fine. You're fine. Nicholas, take a breath. It's okay. You're over managing. Don't do that. Daniel Caps Keenan. Since I have ETN, Monty Ford, and Khalil Herbert, should I use my high waiver on Douglas, Reed, or Charbonnet? I have Hill, Addison, Ridley, Downs in the PPR. You
I
have a
think you
lot
still-
of running backs here, but I think Charbonnet's still the guy. I think he
Yep.
has the most value. So
You
if nothing
still
else,
pick up
pick him up
Charbonnet.
and then maybe look to deal him and
Yep,
see if,
that's
unless it's one of those leagues where you can't, like it's very tight. I get that, but
That's exactly right. I pick up Charbonnet
Yeah.
and deal him to the Kenneth Walker team.
all right, let's go to Camilo. I have Minnesota defense. Y'all think I should stick with them or pick up New Orleans, Denver, New York Giants, or the New England Patriots? Thanks.
Man, I think I'm
That's
going
a
to go with
tough
the
one right
Patriots
here.
on this one.
You're going to Patriots, really?
I'm going Patriots.
All
Yeah,
right, then. Okay.
they're getting your boy Tommy D this week. I mean, come on. Tommy
They
D
still don't
show
know
only
who's playing
lasted 1 week.
quarterback for them, by the way, the Patriots. I saw
They
that.
don't. I mean,
They're
as
like-
long as we're not asking Mac Jones to run any cornerback snaps, we should be okay.
The decline of the Patriot dynasty can be summed up in one word. You know what that word is? You want to take a
Bill?
shot? Keep it clean. No.
No.
Hubris.
Oh,
Hubris.
that's a good word. It's a good word.
Because Bill Belichick
Good
is a
job
great
reading
football
Rainbow.
coach.
I like that.
See?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Good coach is what Bill Belichick's always been, no matter where he was. He was a good coach when he was with the Giants as a coordinator. He was a good coach when he was with Cleveland before the rug got ripped out from under him that season and they tried to move the team. They were a playoff team the year before with expectations and everything completely, he had fans ripping out seats and lighting them on fire and throwing them onto the field. It was a crazy time in Cleveland.
Wow.
This is a true story.
I don't remember that.
Well,
Wow.
it's, you were just a boy then. But and then he goes, comes back, works for the Patriots, did great work for the Jets when the Jets were relevant in those, Testaverde years. And then obviously the incredible run but again, I think at a certain point, if you are not adapting, and I hate doing this, but I almost give Pete Carroll a little bit of love here. Pete Carroll with age has adapted and has stayed relevant. He hasn't won as much as Belichick. Nobody has. But at the end of the day, I think they just got too big for their britches and they thought they could outcoach themselves out of anything. And they can't. They can't outcoach themselves out of bad personnel.
So I've got a side question here, Joey.
Okay.
How much credence are you giving the Coach Bill to the Commanders rumblings? Do you think that's real or not? Because I've said it's BS, but
I say it's BS. If the new coach, if they're changing coaches, it's Bieniemy. You go right to the guy who's.
You think so? You think he stays, even if they got the staff? I think the new owner is going to want some glitz and glam. Give me Ben Johnson. That's where I think they go.
Maybe, but if I'm Bill Belichick and I want a fresh start somewhere, I want a quarterback. So I want to go to the Chargers.
Absolutely. You're not going to go knock on the door that has Sam Howell and be like,
No,
hello.
I want to go to the Chargers where Justin Herbert is. If I'm Bill Belichick,
that's fair.
That's where I want to go because they've got names on that defense. They just have no clue how to use it. I mean, you look at that defensive personnel, you go, well, those are some players. That's where I would go if I was Belichick. And Vrabel,
Salty Staley hasn't got a clue right now.
And I've already told Erickson this. I feel very strongly that Vrabel will be the next coach of the Patriots because Robert Kraft always gets his man.
Yeah.
And if there's one guy who can move into the shadow of Belichick and be that guy, and the fan base will accept him right away, and the players would accept him right away, and he understands the Patriot way and all that nonsense, it's Vrabel.
So we're playing coaching carousel here.
Yes,
if Vrabel goes to New England, who takes the job in Tennessee?
I don't know. It doesn't matter because
it doesn't matter. They're going to be the bottom of the division the next.
I think Mike Vrabel was and you can't get it. Go try to Google it. You cannot get a straight answer of how much this extension of Vrabel was. He's going to be here for years to come. How many years? There's nothing. You can't find it anywhere, which leads me to believe there's an out. And the out is for that.
I think he's gone. I think he's gone
gone mentally. The minute they traded AJ Brown, I think he was gone.
It's not his fault. They have given him a terrible roster over the last 2-3 seasons. Tennessee's idea of what their team is versus the reality of that roster that divide has been.
Yeah. Let's get to more questions. Chris Pena, grade the trade, y'all. PPR sent Garrett Wilson, Kirk, GOT, Jefferson. I have Chase, Cup, Keenan Allen, Nico, and currently first in 9-2. So I don't understand. Sorry. You got Jefferson. Sorry.
He got. It's not Game of Thrones. No, man, come
on. So Wilson and Kirk for Jefferson. Look, it's a great dice roll.
That's the type of dice roll if Jefferson comes back, and I say if because we keep hearing that, and he still hasn't been activated out the IR. Like the Vikings,
I told everybody when he got
that
verbiage they were using was very clear that he ain't coming back in 4 weeks. It was so clear that he was not coming back in 4 weeks. And here's the fun part.
We
imagine having a team
we preach patience with
that's got Jefferson, Chase, and Cooper Kupp on it and not winning. Well, could you imagine the three of the 4 best wide receivers in the league? You don't win the championship.
Preseason, you would be so tilted,
John Trotter, grade the trade. Hurts, Barkley, Montgomery, and Warren for CMC, Ayuk, and Madison. I'd like to know who's replacing Hurts. That's my big problem.
Same.
I don't think this is a bad trade. I like Ayuk and CMC a lot. I don't love Madison.
I don't hate it, but I
think it's
a lot of equity.
It's a lot going back both ways. The way I look at it, Trotter, is that if you were a really deep team and you just wanted to get better with CMC and Ayuk, then that's fine. Like if you had a great roster, that's okay.
In an 8-team league or 10-team league, I understand this trade more than like in a 12-teamer.
Tom Middleton, not to be confused with Tom Hiddleston, went kickerless this week. Now I have to drop someone for a kicker. Watson, JSN, Singletary, or Gainwell.
Drop Gainwell.
Okay. Devin Feigoth, help pros, 1 RB required, have all of Hall and ATN. Should I keep and try to trade? Who could I get? I also have Kupp, Olave, Pickens, Godwin to package. So I have Hall and ATN.
I would trade Hall.
I mean, if you can trade Hall, this is like the weirdest time to trade Hall. Because if Boyle plays just remotely respectable, then Hall could be a really good asset rest of season.
What's the chances that you give Boyle to actually be respectable, though?
Well, what's the chances it's worse than Zach Wilson? I don't think it's worse than Zach
you
Wilson.
Can't be worse than Zach Wilson, so let's throw that out there. So I guess for me, I'm looking at the rest of the season schedule for Breece Hall, and it's pretty rough. Like the Falcons, Texans, Dolphins, Commanders, Browns, Patriots. That's not good.
Do you remember when? Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I would lump together Chris Godwin and Breece Hall and try to get an upgrade at wide receiver is how I would approach that.
Do you remember last year when Mike White took over, how the Jets rallied around and all of a sudden became a really spunky, fun team and really competitive, and then Mike White got hurt and all the other nonsense? I feel like this is 2.0. Like I feel like we're going to experience this.
Really?
And it's going to be hilarious.
That's giving Boyle a lot of credit, and I don't know if it's deserved.
Plus 400 on the money line. New York Jets Friday. Lock it up. Lock it up, folks.
I mean, dude, we
I'll tell you this
the Broncos taking down the Buffalo Bills, so I don't hate it.
If all 3 of those Thanksgiving games go chalk, then I am running Friday morning.
One of them's got to be wackadoo.
Something's got to be wackadoo. It's always like that every year. Paul Gookler. Hey guys, great show. Trade Hall and Metcalf for Jefferson. I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't. I don't think I'm gonna do
this.
That's too much to take. That's too much to take the swing on Jefferson.
It's very frustrating. And I get where your head's at. It's good practice, but in actuality, I think it's gonna kill you. Gab DeBlois. What's up, pros, bros? What do you think about Waddle? Should I try to trade him or keep him and hope?
It depends on what you're gonna get back. If the return is not great for Waddle, then you're keeping him. So I mean, play out all the scenarios for you, but if the trade offers aren't there, then you're keeping him. And that's not a bad thing to do.
Do you think the Dolphins are going backwards?
I don't.
Okay.
No. I think 2 is fine. I think the Dolphins are going to be fine. I mean,
it's fair
because the other side of this is their defense is playing much, much better with Jalen Ramsey back. So
that's true.
I think that they have the ability to win those games based off of their defense and the ground game, where you probably couldn't say that the first 4 to 5 weeks of the season.
That pick he made was tremendous too. What an effort on that,
man. Oof. And Jalen Ramsey has also come out and said, like, look, I'm not back to being me yet.
No.
And I'm like, this version of you is pretty damn good, man. Like
this is a fascinating. Let me tell you something. If they lose to the Jets on Friday,
Man.
I think there's going to be a lot of people starting to question what happened to the Dolphins, because it's one thing to, drop some games to some bigger teams. And I think that's what they did. I think they're a good team and they went up against great teams, and great teams kind of knocked them back down a couple pegs, which happens sometimes. Like, they've got to learn how to be great. Jonathan Mulberry, Kansas City Chiefs or Dallas defense rest of season? Dallas defense. Dallas defense rest of season. So the number one defense.
Yeah.
In fantasy. That's
Yeah.
why I paid extra for them in every single draft. If you're not first, you're last.
Here we go.
All the Cowboys defense. It's funny. Every year, everyone does the same nonsense, and it's starting to piss me off. You know what grinds my gears, Derek Brown? I'll tell you what.
I'm here to listen.
I'll tell you. Every year, everyone goes, I'll just wait till the last round and grab a defense. To which I always say, why? If there's a defense that you think can be elite and be at the very top, and you think is going to have turnovers and is going to be incredible in the sack department and get you points every single week, and you target which one that is, how many teams have that last round or two pick still on their roster come week 10? I can tell you right now, I still want the Cowboys defense on my roster. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Cowboys,
I'm
they've
just
got
saying
multiple 20-point weeks for me in many leagues. They have saved my bacon.
I don't hate it, but I mean,
and a couple years ago, this happened too. Remember with the Patriots defense that year? That was unbelievable. If this happens sometimes, if you can identify the value on some of the defenses, be aggressive. Take them. You have to play them every week.
I mean, and being aggressive just looks like what? Instead of taking them the last round, you take them the second last round? Yeah, like second last or third last round, because I mean, you could still mine gems like Puka Nacua with your last round pick if you didn't take a defense. So
right. Nobody was taking Puka. He was undrafted everywhere.
No, he wasn't.
Find the guy that you like undrafted, pick him up last. That's what you want to do. Just in here, more updates from my playbook. The Rams have waived Darrell Henderson. Kyron Williams is expected to return week 12 against the Cardinals. And this is why you download my playbook. The My Playbook app is here for you with so many things, not just the news. See how I just gave you the news? But it's also there for the multi-league assistant. If you're juggling multiple fantasy football teams, and I know you are because you're a lunatic and you're hanging out with us, and you feel overwhelmed sometimes, and the holidays are here, and you kind of keep up with the kids are off, and I've got to do this, and I got to do that. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. We'll help you simplify all the things with FantasyPros Multi-League Assistant, and you can see the latest news, notes, and rankings for every single player across all your teams, all in one spot, making your path to victory clear and easy. So dive in and let us help you dominate with that Multi-League Assistant. Go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook, or just download the Fantasy Football My Playbook app wherever you get your apps, wherever that might be. I don't know where you get them. That's your business.
I hear iOS is good this time of year.
iOS. Patrick Kubiak. Hello from Germany. That's how much I don't like Apple products. Okay, I just don't care.
This man said iOS. I
always thought it was iOS.
9 weeks of the season.
You know why? I think iOS was in my head that day, which is the Verizon internet.
Okay.
At least I have read books.
Hey, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. I am a total fraud. All these books behind me on this shelf, all my wife's gonna throw it out there. It was a safe space.
Not only they're all just shells. They're all just inside. They're just vapes. That's all. Everything. You open them up. There's not even pages in it. This is how he hides his vapes. That's what he does.
You're not wrong.
Patrick, we're going out with a bang today, D-bro. They're pulling this rug from under us. And we're going out with a bang.
Yeah.
Patrick Kubiak, hello from Germany. Would you drop Deontay Johnson to pick up OBJ or Downs from waivers?
No. Not
triple face. Not just two face, but triple face. Thoughts on Davante rest of season? Now, this is an interesting conversation. I don't know if you have your rest of season ranks available. I would imagine he is probably outside wide receiver 1, but not much.
Wide receiver 13.
Okay,
so,
I nailed it.
You did. I mean, he's a volume dependent wide receiver 2. I mean, really, there's not a whole lot of difference between him and Ja'Marr Chase.
Yeah, he's got 4 touchdowns this year. Who has more touchdowns, Garrett Wilson or Davante Adams? Quiz, hot shot.
Adams.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know how many Garrett
Wilson Zach Wilson doesn't throw touchdowns.
Garrett Wilson has 2. Poor Garrett Wilson. I want to hug Garrett Wilson. He is such a wonderful, like, you watch the Hard Knock show and you get like, God, this kid is just, he is He must have had great upbringing, great coaches, great people
He's a
around him.
baller.
He is a great kid, hard worker. I feel so bad that he has had to deal with the crap quarterback play he's dealt with for 2 straight years.
I want to throw this out there, and if people are obviously, if you're tuning into this show, you're still in the weeds. If you're in keeper leagues right now, the moves you make are go towards 2024, and you trade for Garrett Wilson right now, because we've already gotten the answer. Can he be Davante Adams in this offense? You're damn right he is. So next year, you get a quarterback that actually throws passing touchdowns, Aaron Rodgers or anybody else, Kirk Cousins, who knows? If that happens, yeah, Garrett Wilson's going to be the truth.
Mauro Clory. Was it easy to get on Reading Rainbow? That's actually, Mauro, let's talk about that. It was not hard necessarily for a young child with the personality of a Joe Pisapia. But
were you also your own talent agent at that point?
No.
Or your parents negotiating these?
Do you want the true story? Do you want the true story?
I'm asking.
As a kid, I always liked the show, and I said, I want to be on TV. I want to be on that show. It's like my favorite show. And my mom was nice enough to take me in there and meet the people, and they thought I was very funny and all this stuff. Oh. And you know what? All I ever wanted to do was be on TV, and now I'm on TV every week. So you know what?
Now that kind of sounds like my childhood dreams of Fantasy Pros. I mean, it's
all I wanted to do was work with Joe Pisapia ever since I saw him on.
Well, I set that bar a little bit higher.
In 1984. You know, it's funny though. I had a chance to do more, but my mom wouldn't let me. I had other things. I did some other things, and I could have gone down that path. And instead, I ended up being an actor anyway for years. So you know, if your kid really wants to do something, they're going to find a way to do it.
Joe Pisapia, action star.
Well, I did teach combat for 20 years.
I know you did. That's why I'm giving you.
A lot of people don't know that either.
I know they don't know that. That's why this is called me introing you and your skills. Okay,
the show's not long enough. Ronaldo, thoughts on the Texas defense rest of season? I'm thinking of stashing them.
I love how you
last 4.
You just dropped that and kept on moving. Oh man! All right.
I'm thinking about stashing the Texans defense. The last 4 weeks are Titans, Browns, and Titans, and the Colts.
Yeah,
I don't disagree, Ronaldo. Instead of streaming, just do this. This is the time to do it, because nobody wants him now against Jacksonville this week. So yeah,
chess versus checkers, baby.
There you go.
Like
D-bro.
That is a really
give Ronaldo credit.
Yeah, I would have to give Ronaldo a shout out for that, and
shout out to Ronaldo.
Then take all the credit.
Gupta Bob, hey y'all, I'm in a 2 QB league, 10 team, and y'all. My quarterbacks are Gino, but he might be hurt. Who should I pick up rest of season? Browning, Boyle, Mac Jones, or Tommy DeVito? Yikes. Probably Browning, because he's got the job. Although Boyle I have a morbid curiosity with Tim Boyle.
You really do. You've got a Boyle problem. Like
I got a Boyle, and I need to go see someone to have it removed.
You got it. You do.
Because it's
the doctor's got to cut that thing off of you.
In there. I'll see it on Friday. I had no interest. Derek, Friday's about decorating the Christmas tree after Thanksgiving. That's what it's a tradition with me and
yes,
my kids.
Sir. Mm-hmm.
I had 0 designs on watching or giving a crap about this game. Now, I can't wait to.
Now it's going to be on, and the girls are like, "But Daddy, we need to put up the tree. I got
Tim
to watch Tim Boyle."
It's 3rd and 8. Tim Boyle's got the ball in his hands in the red zone. Let's go.
How do you explain to the girls that the Christmas tree is not going up because you got a Boyle problem?
Father, why are you watching the Jets? I don't know why my children became there from a dick.
Because I hate myself.
Because I hate
to know this.
God, you know, I am so grateful growing up as a Mets fan that I'm also not a Jets fan, because that kind of torture is just unfair. The torture that those people put themselves through, the Mets, Jets, Knicks fan, that is a torture of epic proportions.
That's tough times, especially around the holiday season. That's
countless kicks. Trade Javonte for Achane. You want to do that?
No, I'm not.
Alejandro Kiss. I have Charbonnet, Taylor, White. Should I trade White for Chase? I don't think so.
Why would you do that? No, don't do
that. Don Cruz. Should I drop Jones now? You have AJ Dillon out there, Jayden Reed on waivers. I say yes. And Charbonnet. So Charbonnet, yeah.
I would take Charbonnet. Yeah, drop Aaron Jones.
Reed would be my second choice. All right, let's go to Jack Brewer's question. Who can I get? Who can go twice as high rest of season? I see what you did there, Jack.
Yeah.
I see that. Good.
Yeah, right. I like that. That's nice.
I'm going to give Jack that championship. I think that's the winner. Likely or Goedert? PPR, y'all. Oh, he did everything.
He did everything.
Look,
Trifecta,
I'm not supposed to
baby!
put my finger on the scale here, but John, if you do not find out Jack's username situation and give him that trophy, I don't know. We're doing it
I mean,
wrong.
at least like a
I just
BP
didn't. Come on.
T-shirt, something. I
Give
mean,
this man
wait,
something.
give this man something.
Call him
I
some
mean,
Uber Eats, for God's sakes. But seriously, likely or Goddard.
some buttery Charbonnet to
My
you.
concern
Jack.
is when we get Goddard back. It's still at least 2 weeks.
I think it's at least 2 weeks. I would rather take the shot on Goddard. And this is not me hating on Isaiah Likely, but we've seen Isaiah Likely do good things, and we've also seen him flop as the starter. So I know a healthy Dallas Goedert, look, he had a fracture. If the bone's healed, he's good enough to play. It's not like he's coming back from a knee, a shoulder, or anything else like a joint. So
yeah, there's weakness though after those kind of things. That's the only thing. But again, it's something that's doable. Craig Choi wants to know, how is meeting LeVar Burton? This is the sad part of the story. I never got to, because in my head I figured, oh, he's just around. He's not. See, he would go on location to all these exotic places and do all these things, and I was just in some studio in New York, slumming away doing book reviews for him. So that was the biggest depressing part, is not meeting LeVar Burton, because I honestly, that was the biggest depressing part about that whole thing.
You make it sound like Reading Rainbow had like a child.
Can we get LeVar Burton on the show? Can we get LeVar Burton on the show? I think that would be great.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
If he wants to promote, some sort of reading program, I think that would be hilarious. I think it'd be a great get. Let's reach out to him. Last question here. Wyatt Cole, which running back would you trade for Breece Hall in PPR? What's the equivalent of a Breece Hall in PPR for running backs? I don't think you're going to get Gibbs. I'll tell you what. I'd rather have Barkley rest of season. Hot take.
That's not a hot take. I mean,
I think it is. A lot of people would disagree with me. What about Mostert? Would you want Mostert with all the Achane concern?
No, because Achane could be back this week. Josh Jacobs, Swift, Dave Montgomery.
Okay.
Kind of, or even Derrick Henry. Hot take. I'll take Derrick Henry.
Now, listen, everybody. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, we are back on the live stream. Erickson and I will be here taking you through more questions, because we know all the Thursday games are early. We know everyone's got holiday stuff, so don't worry. We got you covered. So join us live. If you didn't get your question answered today, we'll try to get to it tomorrow. But I want to thank everybody, too, for joining us every single Tuesday here on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. We just love doing this show with you guys. We love hanging out with you guys. We hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And spend some time with family, friends, and football, and all of the above, and take some time for yourself. Okay. Everyone's working hard all year. We hope that we are giving you a little bit of joy, an hour every single Tuesday and Wednesday live talking ball that helps kind of offset a lot of the stress of life, because life can be stressful sometimes. So we hope we are doing that for you. And I want to thank our entire team here at Fantasy Pros too, because we have the best team here. John, Chris, our entire production staff, everybody who makes these shows work every single Tuesday and Thursday live. And again, tomorrow we'll be back with a little moved up version of our Thursday show for Start and Sit to get you ready. So on that note, have a great holiday weekend, everybody. Again, we'll see you tomorrow. But for those of you who we won't see, enjoy the time, get some time, take some time for yourself. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For John and Derek Brown, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy that.
Happy Thanksgiving.